Hello again, Gaming World of YouTube. I'm having a really bad day because I can't seem to get some recording going, even though I really want to play this game. Anyways, this is Era 1009 Gaming, and we are doing a non-requested video, following a requested video, simply because I feel that it should just be done. I decided I wanted to make a muscle car a while back in this game. This is automation, so we are going to make a, let's see, so we're going to go back to 1969, and we are going to try and make something in semblance of a Dodge oh, nice. It's not exactly a Charger style body. It looks more Charger than the 2-door. Yeah, let's make a 4-door Charger. That ought to be fun. But basically, Miruki Art decided that she would request a video for I love the way that looks. It's amazing. For a scenario in this game. And I like this, and I don't really do the scenarios all that often, so it was kind of a weird thing for me to do. So I did the scenario, and I decided, you know what, she really needs to see some of the other aspects about this game. So I decided that instead of having her search all over the internet to kind of get a good feel for what this game is like, you know, by people that either they're veterans at it and whatnot, or they're just total noobs, which I've dealt with before. I don't really know who's who or whatnot, but there's a lot of details in this game, and I'm not going to point fingers at who's newbie or anything like that. Let's see, for a muscle car, I think there'd be a ladder frame, galvanized steel, front longitudinal. Longitudinal basically means the engine is pointing towards the rear of the car. So that's what I think of when I hear muscle car. So front longitudinal. Double wishbone, we call those A-arms. The Dodge Charger has a leaf axle, and the detail here is just pretty good. Miruki Art wanted to know if there was more about building cars in this game than just engines, or if this was just an engine simulator. I'm here to answer that right now. This is more than just an engine simulator. You can build cars from the ground up, which is what I am doing. So we are going to build a fairly average muscle car here, and I'm going to see if I can apply some new skills that I've learned thanks to the thanks to the scenario I just played, and I'm going to see if I can make a better car than I usually do anyways. That's looking like a Charger. Except the problem is, and a channel called YBR addressed this, is you can't put a grill over the headlights because that doesn't work. Let's see, so we need a square grill. For a Charger, I want something with a little bit of chrome. Now, obviously, this isn't really going to be a Charger because it's more of a something else. Yeah, let's see if we can get some of that cool air coming in. In all honesty, the car will probably not need all of that, but that's a reasonable amount right there, so let's leave that alone. Let's go to taillights. Let's see, do they have any good Charger-style taillights? No. This one right here probably be good for... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's just expand those out like this. And then... no, I didn't want that to happen. Drop them down like that. That looks like your 69 Charger. Okay, we do need indicators though, and I'm not sure what the indicators look like on a Dodge Charger. But hey, this isn't exactly a Dodge Charger, so we have a little bit of freedom. So let's go ahead and go into indicators, and let's just do this. Let's see, let's just drop one of those right there where the fog light should be, and a couple more over here. Now I'm going to go back to see indicators. Let's see if we can get... okay. Oh no, tail lights. It's this one. We need more chrome to match that. There we go, that looks nice, kinda. Obviously you can tell I'm not really too worried about this. Okay, so let's see. Can this come forward any? I mean, seriously. Kind of looks Charger-like. Yeah. Yeah, it's as good as it's getting. Okay, let's see. So now we need, we've got a fair, we don't have enough, we're not going to need too much, we're not, so the grill right there is fine. We're not going to build too big of an engine here. So, let's see. Vents, wings. No, we don't need wings. Handles. Handles, that's the one I'm looking for. Let's see. Let's make a chrome handle there. These always seem a little small to me. So, Miruki Art, if you're watching this video, I'd like to know what you kind of think of it, what you think of my Charger, and what you think of the game. I am going to build you a nice custom engine for this Charger based on what I know from Car Mechanic Simulator 2015, which is another fairly fantastic game. It didn't really strike too much of my fancy, but it's a good game. I like it overall. That's too high. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Bonnet. We don't need that. Exhausts. Now, Charger's exhaust actually comes out down the side, down the bottom right here, so doing something like this would actually be really offensive. And that just looks absolutely horrific. Just enough, because it does not texture well right there. And Lips, we don't need those. And badges, I don't like any of their badges. Oh, they have new ones. I didn't see these before. I don't like the badges, so I'm not going to put one on. We're going to make it rear wheel drive. I'm going to make this black, and with the whole thing black. I'm going to make the engine black too, because there is no reason for us to have anything other than black, because that way it stays very neutral and people don't complain about, oh well, it should have been blue instead of red, and I like red, so you guys who like blue, it's like, blue's a nice color, but I mean red. So when I think muscle car, I think cast iron. We're going to need a big block, so let's go ahead and make this like 400 some odd cubic inches. Let's see if I can do 450. Actually, let's do 440. Yeah, 440, just like the Mopar engine pulled out of the motorhome that was put into the General Mayhem on the show Roadkill. You'll make it push rod, because that's what I think of whenever I think of muscle car, is push rods. Did they really have dual overhead cams? That is incredible. No, they were using push rods. Crank. Let's start with some fairly regular materials to see if we can survive all of this stuff. I'm going to lower the compression ratio and up the cam profile a little bit. Actually, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to deal with that one later. There we go. That's good. Actually, yeah, that's better. I like that one better. Okay, so let's see. Oh, they didn't have turbochargers back then. Huh, so we're going to naturally aspirate this. Now, they should be adding superchargers later in the game, because apparently there's going to be an update for it. I saw one of the tutorials say something about superchargers, and I'm like, what? Wait, they don't have superchargers? Well, they're planning to put them in. So we're going to do 4-barrel supercharger, or not supercharger, carburetor. Twin carb performance. I'm going to go with regular leaded. I'm going to leave the fuel mixture alone. Let's sportify the ignition timing. Bring this up to 6,000 RPM. And round off there. Let's make that tubular dual, because that's kind of what you get whenever you get muscle car. I think dual. Let's go straight through and straight through. That way we get that nice loud muscle car sound. We have some problems already. Let's go ahead and address those before we fire up the engine. We do have some knocking, and that can be fixed by a number of things, but one of the easiest ways to do it is actually to drop the compression ratio. Miruki Art, you probably saw me address this in another way back in the other video if you already watched it. Valve float. So let's see if I can remember how to get rid of valve float. Obviously there's a way to, let's see, if I can remember. Bring that up to 440 again. There we go. And so we still have the problem with valve float. There is the problem with the bottom end part reaching its durability limit, so we're going to bring that to the cast. What is it? Problem now? RPM? Nope. So we're having to use some premium parts here. And let's see, we should be able to get away with using cast if we switch up the cam profile. Except that there are a lot of parts that don't seem to like that cam profile. So let's go back and let's go ahead and put on those premium parts. So let's see, 400 cubic inches. Let's see if we can drop this a little bit. Okay, that doesn't actually seem to be the problem. I think what the problem is I used push rods. But there are better ways to address it than to use something other than push rods. So we are actually going to go ahead and drop the RPM limit. Okay, so we're still so now it's valve float, and it's just valve float. We still got 5,000 RPMs as the RPM limit, which is nice because it all drops off right here, and that kind of sucks. Let's see if I can adjust the cam profile to fix that. It kind of helped. I think it peaks off right there, so let's see. Now we have knocking. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's make the ignition timing advanced, and let's go back over here and drop this a little bit. Why is this all suddenly screwed up? It was making a lot more power before. Okay, it seems to have addressed most of the problems. That seems to have addressed all of the problems, actually. So that's nice, except that I would really kind of like it to make a little bit more than 200 some odd horsepower. Let's see if we can give it any extra oomph. So that goes down. Valve float. Seriously? Are you kidding me? What does it cost to service this thing? Fairly expensive engine to service. I mean, unless you can fix it yourself. Let's see. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of power, actually. I'm not happy with that valve float status. I just can't remember how to get rid of it. Let's see, how much does that make the engine cost? Let's see, do we still have valve float? Yes, we do. I am determined to keep the push rods. I swear to science. Do we have an exhaust problem? And hey, there we go. A little bit of extra power. So now I've got nearly 300 horsepower under the hood. We still got valve float, so let's see if we can adjust that. Let's see, I'm going to adjust the cam profile a little bit. I'm going to adjust this. Push rods don't like that. Okay, I think that's good. Wait. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I get it. These things are actually color coded, which makes sense. Okay, so suddenly my perception of the game has changed. Okay, so we still have valve float. I refuse to get rid of the push rods. Let's see. So, okay, so I need to figure out, because right now it's a problem with the valves, so we need to, let me name this. There. Now you got your name on one of my videos. Anyways, let's see. If we can just get that fixed. There's gotta be a way to... Hey, that fixed it. Okay, not the ideal way to fix it, I'm sure, but, I mean... I kinda like it. I wish I had an amplifier on my computer to hear that better. It's a mean sounding engine. Sounds meaner than all the other V8s I make that run like 6,000 RPM, even if it is weaker. Alright, so that's the engine. Let's take a look at some of the other stats with it. Oh, let's see. So, the engine makes nearly 300 horsepower for 367 foot-pound of torque. And that all peaks out around the top end, which is nice. And actually, I bet you I can fix that. Do we seriously have valve float again? Come on, man. Valve float. Valve float. Valve float. Come on. Seriously? Oh. Oh, come on, I just got that fixed. There we go. That's better. Not bad. Okay, Miruki, let's go ahead and move on to some other aspects of your muscle car. So, because it's sporty, let's go ahead and make it manual single clutch, 5 gears. It's not crazy. Let's go ahead and make it, see if we can make it do that top speed. Okay, right there at that top speed, and I think the spacing is fine where it is. Let's give it an automatic. Actually, let's leave that open. I mean, I don't think that you'd have like one of these fancy lockers or something with a muscle car. Because the drivability is actually lower with the automatic locker. The sportiness isn't that much higher. The comfort's a little... no. Comfort's higher on the other one. Okay. There's no advantage to doing this. And that doesn't actually increase our speed at all. Let's just leave that alone. Let's give it some medium sports compound. steel wheels, and let's give it some 5-spoke. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the wheel diameter. When I think of muscle cars, I also think of big beefy tires, so let's not throw on the higher capacity rims. For the front brakes, I usually think, oh, solid disc. I thought it would be ventilated disc. The solid disc, 2-piston, we're going to leave that alone, except that let's go ahead and increase the size of that. And then we got a drum. Let's go ahead and increase the size of that. There we go. Okay. Semi-clad with a little bit of downforce. We don't have an active wing because I didn't think that was necessary for this car. So we won't do that. And I told you at the beginning that it wasn't going to need this much airflow. Usually anything that needs that much airflow is like one of my ridiculous supercars, or like the muscle trucks that I build. Let's give it some cooling for the brakes. That ought to be good. Actually, I don't think of brake cooling whenever I think of this. Okay. Seats. Well, Charger only has... Do they have 5 seats? I'm gonna go with 2. I'm gonna go with standard. Standard AM radio, power steering, and standard 60s for safety. Okay, so let's see. I don't know. What they probably standard springs and gas monotube for the dampeners. Passive sway bar. Let's do a sport setup. Alright. Drivability, not that high. Sportiness is a little low, actually. That's actually quite low. Comfort, not that high. Prestige, not that high. Safety is okay. Total cost is $55,000, or $5,500, I should say. Production units, not that much. Practicality, not crazy. Utility, wow, this is actually a fairly utility car, as well as safety car. Off-road, average reliability, that's pretty high compared to what I put as the engine. And it's a fairly low weight ratio considering how much heavy stuff I put on it. Economy, oh man, I gotta fix that at some point. That is terrible. 7.3 miles per gallon. Okay, let's take it to the test track. It'll do 145 miles an hour, actually. So it's no use bringing that down. Let's see. Quarter mile is 16 second times, so that's not very good. That's like mediocre. This car is actually not that powerful. Alright, let's give it a run around the test track. Actually, let's not. Okay. Well, there's some other options here that are actually for later in the game once they actually get it out of early access. I haven't gone into those a whole lot, so probably put this guy in charge of the trim and her in charge of the engine. Probably not going to need a whole lot of tooling costs and whatnot. Oh, crap. Looks like I got some... So we got a rear-wheel drive hooligan and straight-off-line performer with a big engine and lots of muscle. Competitiveness, affordability, desirability, competitors, 5. A premium rear-wheel drive hooligan and straight-off-the-line performer, big engine, lots of power. Yeah, we got lots of power. An exclusive and prestigious vehicle built to the highest standards in performance car engineering. Yeah, probably not. So we're going to go with these two. Alright, well, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the, the game. I hope this was kind of a fun watch for all of you. You know, maybe I could get better at this. I swear I suck at this, but I mean, guys, just bear with me. Alright, well, as always, if you liked the video, then go ahead and hit that like button. If you didn't like the video, then, well, you break my heart. Alright, goodbye everybody.